Hello, we are live. My name is Michelle Moross, and these are the ladies, well, some of the ladies from Hold My Crown, Women of Grit, share stories of resilience. We are launching, well, not just launching, have launched our Kindle book today. Yay!
Yay.
So if you haven't done it yet, go to our Kindle. Go to Amazon, look up Hold My Crown, Women of Grit. Put my name in if you have to. It will pop you right on. Someone in this group will probably put the link to the Amazon, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I'm looking at Erin because she's really fast at that. And go get our Kindle right now, because what's happening is you don't know it yet, but these ladies in this book, there's 12 of us total, have started a tsunami. Tsunami? Tsunami. I'm in a movie called Tsunami, so I just said it wrong. But anyways, so today we have, right now at the 1 o'clock call on Mountain Time, we have a few of us. So we have me, of course. Oh, Heather here because she's under my name. Sorry there, Heather. And we've got Sally Wurr, Erin Bear, Janet Langmeyer, and of course, Amy Hamilton. Amy is in a really bad zone for talking, so she'll probably smile and do the princess wave a lot. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask us any. And I want to start with Amy just to see if we have any chance of her being able to say anything that we can understand. But what I want each of you to explain is, why did you join the book? And don't be mean to me. Why did you join the book? Why did you share the story you did? But don't give a little highlight, not enough that people don't want to read it anymore, okay? And then what's your hope for others who read your story and our stories at the end? Does that work? Okay. Amy, good luck.
Hi, Michelle. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm so honored to be your friend as of a long time, as we were talking about before we went into the live cast. And I really am doing this for Michelle, because Michelle, when she asked me, I said, anything Michelle's a part of, I would love to be there for her, as she's always been there for me. The story I picked was something that resonated with me because it goes into how when people help you and you pay it forward, you become a stronger person, the person who originally helped you, and you keep paying it forward. And my goal for what I wrote is that other people are going to read this, it will resonate with them, and it will continue. And I am just so blessed because already I've met these other amazing women through this process. And I just already feel like when you just keep paying it forward, that love is going to keep coming back to you. So thank you, Michelle. And thank you, ladies. You are my fellow queens, and I love you.
That's very sweet, Amy. Thank you so much for being my friend and for trusting me when I say, you want to be in a book? You want to be in a book. Thing is that she already has 2 other books. And when I asked her to be in this book, she's like, no, I don't know. You really want me in here? I said, yes, I want you in here. And here she is. And now we're all this wonderful tribe of queens. And the tribe will grow because we have a Facebook fan page and we have a Facebook group. So as when you purchase the book and you fall in love with us and you want to be part of our tribe, you'll be part of that group. We will add you to the group. If you just want to watch us from afar and say, we'll just watch these ladies and see the events and the things they do, join the fan page and then be in both. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And we will grow together as tribes of wonderful, amazing, not just queens, but soon kings. We have a lot of men on our side who've been on our sides and helped us through a lot of the things we've gone through. If you read the book, as my husband says, boy, men have caused a lot of problems in all of your lives. I said, yes, but we still love you despite it. So here's the thing. This book, and if you go to the reviews on Amazon, it appeals to men and women, all ages and all around the world. The things that we've all shared in our stories are universally things that we've all gone through in some way, shape, or form. And the way we've made it through our adversities or these dark parts of our lives will help other people guide through what they're going through. Now, thank you, Amy. If you have to drop off, we understand. We'll see you again in the afternoon session, the second session, right? Yay. Bye, Amy. And our next author that I'd like to bring up is, I'm going to bring you on last because you're next to me. Okay. Okay. Our next author we'll bring up is Sally. Sally, can you please answer the same questions? Why did you join this book? Why did you share the story you did? And what's your impact you'd like on the end of this? Oh, you're muted.
Of course, I muted myself. I joined the book much like Amy did because we all love and enjoy being around you, Michelle, because you help us keep our energy up because you're like the queen energizer bunny of our group. Coordinator queen you. Yes, indeed. So I joined the book because I wanted to be a part of this movement that we're providing here. It's many of us are just willing to share our stories so that others can learn and not feel like they're on that island by themselves, right? Because sometimes when we're going through, here again, Hold My Crown is really all about the stories that showed how the human capacity to survive and thrive through some of our worst storms of life. As you know, I've been nicknamed the Storm Whisperer because I'm willing to share all those storms that I've been through. These ladies in this book on Hold My Crown share some of those stories, and some of them are gut-wrenching, but they survived them through all the different tools that we all learn through life, right? And we're here to share them, and I want to be a part of that. And we can hit so many people, and we can help so many people. No, we can help so many people if we just learn to share our stories, and people are open and willing to listen to our stories. That's mine. And in my part, I'm chapter 6, Sally, and I just share a story of something that most couples find having a baby to be, I don't want to say easy, but the stories I heard, it was all easy. My story was different. And I shared my journey, as it were. So thank you for letting me be here.
I'm so glad you joined me. And here's the thing. It's all in our toolbox.
It is all in our toolbox. Some learned on our own and some from others.
Yes. So I'm so glad you've joined this storm that we've created. And for those of you who don't know this, because the authors, I think I surprised them with it, is oh, wait, I have to back up a little bit. How did this book come up to be? This book came to be on an accident. So I had a writer's retreat out in my cabin, of which I bought from Amy that just left the stream. And we had a writer's retreat, and we're sitting out there and we're talking because we're all speakers. And so we were talking about our stories and how we were going to share them from stage. And somewhere in there, we realized that we were all talking about different stages of our lives as women, and that they were interlocking. And we're like, you know what? We're onto something here. And one of the ladies at the group said, why aren't we putting this in a book? And I said, well, eventually we're going to put it in a book. And eventually what happened was the book came first. And now then the conference will come after, which makes more sense. But I was on the speaking thought. And Sally was one of the ladies there. And we really hit it off. And she's like, woman, wherever you're doing, I want to be there. If you do another retreat, I want to be there. Whatever you want, you tell me, I'm going to be there. And so when I said, you want to be in a book? She says, of course I want to be in the book. Why would you even ask me that question? Well, because I didn't want to just stick your name on there and say, oh, by the way, Sally, you're going to share your story with the entire world. Are you ready for it? So thank you, Sally, for trusting and jumping in on this. And I cannot wait for people to purchase the Kindle. It's on Amazon. I'm sure Aaron has already put it in some link somewhere. And if you haven't seen the link, if you're on YouTube by chance, or if you're on my business page and you're not seeing it, then go just Google search Hold My Crown, Women of Grit, Share Stories of Resilience. You just only have to put Hold My Crown and it pops us up. Okay. And we are a very distinct book. You've seen that crown everywhere. It's behind my head right now. So go purchase that Kindle. And when you read it, we encourage you to read through it, or at least skip through it on a Kindle, because Amazon counts how many pages you actually made through on a Kindle. I learned that from Aaron today. Didn't know that. So go get the Kindle And what we're asking for all of you who are purchasing the Kindle and watching us right now is to please, when you're done, if you feel called to, write a review. And the reason I say write a review is because people are going to look at that title and some will be drawn to it and some won't. And what's beautiful about the book is we are touching different parts of lives and different experiences for male and females. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are in the world. So do us a favor, get the Kindle for today. Help us get those numbers up for the bestseller. If you are in Colorado in any way, shape, or form, get to the 23rd October 3 E's Comedy Club between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. We were doing our live launch there. I've put that tag. We've all put our tag for the Hold My Crown launch in everything we've done. So find or go to Facebook and type in Hold My Crown book, and it will pop it up. And then RSVP, so we make sure we have enough cake for everybody, because if you've ever followed me, I believe in eating dessert first. Anyways, thank you, Sally. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. Our next author I'd like to bring onto the stage is Miss Erin Bear.
Thank you, Michelle. Hello, everybody that's watching us, everybody that has supported us through this.
Oh, wait, I've got to stop you.
Oh, yeah.
I've told everybody how I've met everybody else. I need to say how I met you.
That's true.
Okay, so Erin, I was in an authors group, and during COVID, that's when I first joined and actually went on to a live call with them. And I met Erin in this authors group, and I saw her speak about her book, Beaten to Badass. And she was so articulate and so that energy. People accuse me of having that, oh, I can feel that energy through you. I felt it through her. And I said, I wrote her privately and said, I want to know you. Reach out to me. And she's been with me as my mentee for the past 18 months. And here's the joke. I never met her until July when I went to the Ultimate Speaker competition. And I met her for the first time in the Denver airport as we were boarding an airplane. And people say, Michelle, why would you do something like that? It's because that's who I am. When I see potential, if I see anything in someone that I know, all they need is just that little belief, and they will explode into whatever they were supposed to be in the first place. And if they have someone believe in them just enough, there's no holding them back. This is what I saw in Erin. And she's a brilliant asset for this book, and she's powerful. She doesn't share her Beaten the Badass story because that is her story. That is her story, and I want her to keep that all for herself. These stories, I wanted to give an inch out to other stories in your lives, because we don't have one story, okay? We all have multiple stories. So I asked her for another story. So Erin, again, why join the book? Why did you choose that story that you did share? And then what do you see for the future of the book and the way you shared your story?
Well, I mean, you told us not to be mean, and we're never mean to you, Michelle. We love you. So I've been her mentee. She basically took me under her wing and was like, you have no choice. You're coming with me. You have all this potential, and I want you to soar. Because I was kind of staying below the cliff. And so she took me up to the cliff and pushed me off and joined with me, though. She flew with me by my side and helped me soar. So I know that she's basically like the wind under our beneath our wings. Basically, she's the one that keeps us getting higher and higher. She pushes us up and not pushes us down. So there's a big difference when we say that she pushes us up. She lifts us up. And so when she said, hey, I'm doing this book, you want in? I was like, duh. I mean, is it even a question? And I asked her, I said, well, what story? She goes, not your abuse story, not the beating it down. You've already got that. And so I said, well, then what? And she goes, exactly what you're going through right now. And so that's my infertility journey. I've been on an infertility journey for, it's been 5 years now, since 2016. And so I dig into a second loss that I experienced in December 2019 when my life was on the line from a pregnancy I was not aware of. And so I really dive into that and the emotions behind it. And the reason why I share that story is because everybody's like, just go have fun. You'll get pregnant. And it has not been fun. It has not been easy. It's been very challenging and difficult. And I think us as women are told to sit down, shut up, stay silent, and be pretty. If we have that quality, if we're pretty enough, right? But we're all beautiful. All of us women are beautiful in our own unique way. And so it was really important for me, as well as Michelle, because she's my mentor, to share the ins and outs and the ugliness, but the beauty amongst that difficulty of infertility, because women don't talk about it. We're shamed. You know, that's the one thing that we're supposed to be able to do is get pregnant. That's one of our main jobs on this earth, is to keep the population up. And I felt like I wasn't worthy enough to deserve the title as a woman or a wife. And so I dig into that. And like Sally said, you know, it wasn't easy for her either. So what I love about the book, and I won't give too much away, is that the stories intertwine and go from one thing to the other. And it's a really smooth read. And you realize that we're all connected, and that one story kind of it just starts and it slowly progresses throughout the book. And you can see how we are all connected amongst each other and why we are holding each other's crowns through the book and through our lives, and those that hold the crowns for us when we, you know, got to get to business. And so when Michelle was like, hey, you want to be a part of this book? I was like, duh, thank you. I love you. Whatever you say yes to. And she's right. I met her in the airport. She texted me and she goes, you want to go to Florida? And I was like, with you? So I did. And I think this book is going to be very powerful, because what I think it's doing is showing how women can collaborate and support each other and not compete, and really bring each other together and rise each other up, hold each other's crowns. And I think this is going to really show the generations to follow how women are supposed to behave without the interference of others or the older generations. And no offense to the older generations, but I think we're starting a wave of raising ladies and children and women to be the best versions of themselves, and to, you know, stand up for themselves and share their voice. So I think this book is going to really exemplify what womanhood and holding each other's crown looks like.
Very well said. Cheers. Yes. Because it really is, like I said, with that intertwining. And you heard Sally and Aaron both have infertility stories, but they're not the same story. They're from different points of view, because I'm going to hit on her in a minute, because it's the same thing. She's got the other side of the journey. It's so beautiful to see how all of our lives kind of intertwined, and how we grew through things, but what one lesson learned could have been used in the next lesson. And that's why it's so important that we get the word out about Hold My Crown, Women of Grit share their stories of resilience, because like Aaron says, we've been told a certain box that we're all supposed to be in, as men, as women, as whatever we are, as in our nationalities and what countries we are from and what our culture says. We've been put in these boxes that we believe must be. And so when things happen and go out of complete helter-kelter, whatever, skelter, what is the word I'm looking for? Crazy, topsy-turvy, we do. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And we get lost for a minute. And that's what we find in each of these stories. Every one of us in these stories that we share, we all found ourselves doing, is this reality? Wait a minute. This is not how it was supposed to be. Where am I? And as Aaron said, this book represents how women truly should be. That we don't have to compare ourselves. We don't have to compete. We can all be the wind amongst each other's wings. I know you gave me credit to be the wind under all of your wings. But the thing is in truth, you're all the wind under my wings. I soar as high as I do because of people like you who believe and trust me when I say big things like, let's write a book and we're going to do a conference across the world. And none of you looked at me and went, are you crazy, lady? I said, yeah, we're going to do the book in a couple of months, and then we're going to be on the tour by the end of next year. You know, I say these things and they do, what's the plan? I do, I don't know. We'll make it happen as it happens. So you are the wind beneath my wings, because I need people to help grow. It's part of my nature. I need to grow and help people take the veil off of themselves to realize that they are the best version of them right now, if they would just accept themselves right now. Love you as you are. And the reason I'm saying that right now is because when we met Janet, she and I met at a conference, and she and I hit it off very quickly. And she's so put together, and she's got all the assets that I just don't have, that organization stuff. I don't have that. And so she and I started something called Authentic Conversations, and that will be coming out after the book. Okay. It will be coming, but we're building it. Okay. It's pretty much built, but we're going to be doing it soon. And what's cool about this with Janet is when I asked her to be the book, she says, what am I going to write about? And she says, I don't really have a story I would want to share. Wait a minute. And when she told me the story she wanted to share, I'm like, we need your story. Your story is the catalyst to most of the things that happen to all of us. And with that note, I want to say, please welcome Miss Janet Langmeyer.
Wow. How do I follow that, Michelle? Oh, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be a part of this. I mean, 12 powerful women sharing stories from our hearts, from our souls. I mean, these are deeply felt chapters of our lives. And yeah, I thought I don't have anything to share. And the truth of it is as I sit here today, I'm still in the epic journey that is my body odyssey. It is the up and down story of the way that I thought I was supposed to feel about how fat I am, how thin I am, how thin I'm not, how fat I'm not, what clothes I should wear, how people see me, how I should show up, and never being satisfied. Worrying about food, worrying about going to lunch with a bunch of friends and wondering what I should order. You know, I wanted to have the chicken and somebody had a salad because they're being good. I mean, we have so many judgments, so many stories, so many ways that we treat ourselves poorly instead of having joy in the moment. I don't get to get another life here that I'm aware of. Now, maybe I do, but I'm not aware of it. The one I'm living is the one I'm having now. And I've spent a whole bunch of time being unhappy with the body that I'm living it in. And so that's what I finally had the courage to screw on and share is what I hear from my clients, what I hear from my friends, what I hear from my own children, and the stories that I told myself. And when I wrote that, I was slimmer than I am today. And interestingly enough, all the feelings were the same. So when I look at the kinds of things that I wrote in my journals when I was a size 6, and the things I wrote in my journals when I was a size 16, the same dissatisfaction, the same unhappiness, the same something I'm doing wrong, the same fight with food, the same embarrassment about how something fit or didn't fit. One of my daughters said to me, Mom, just buy clothes that fit and don't worry about it. I couldn't do that. I was obsessed with what size it should be. I was obsessed with if I didn't eat this, maybe I could get into that by the next time that something happened. So if you've ever had to squeeze yourself into an outfit that you wanted to wear for a special occasion, and you had all of those stories that you told yourself, you're going to like the chapter that is in the book called Janet, because that's what I'm sharing. That's what I'm talking about. And it's a daily thing, because here's where we live. We live in this temple of our body, and every day we have a story, we tell it instead of listening to it and enjoying it. So I'm enjoying it today with all of you. And I'm so grateful to you, Michelle, for, just nudging me to share that whole thing.
Thank you. Well, and the reason why I wanted your story, so yeah, good job. I wanted your story in there is because I know so many of us who are constantly fighting with that. I mean, I was very physically fit. Like Erin, I was a bodybuilder for many years of my life. And then I got in that car accident and gained so much weight that I ended up being over 300 something pounds. And as I dropped all this weight through the cancer and all, I noticed the same thing. It doesn't matter. I can be as small as I am, and I'm still looking in that mirror saying, look at this. It doesn't fit. Oh, why? It still happens. Even as enlightened as I am, I will catch that human in me and do, oh, if only I can just get that muscle to stick out, and it's like enough of it is enough. And so when Janet had that story, I'm like, please bring this into the book. It will tie all the other stories together because it all comes back to our bodies and who we think we are supposed to be, and all the people that judged us, that kept us trapped because we were afraid of what other people were going to say. Now, that whole loving and giving and being open to just loving ourselves and loving the people around us and not judging. That is why I wanted this lady, Miss Heather Harris, into the book, because I met her years ago. And she and we actually still have it. We never closed it, but the school's closed down, so we couldn't go out. But we did a teen leadership course as John Maxwell coaches. We would go into schools and teach about leadership and bullying, anti-bullying. And she and I would go out there with our two buddy friends, James and Mr. Ron. And we would go to schools and train this. And she told me a bit of her story. Now, her story in this book, and I'm going to edge a little bit, is also an infertility one, but not really. Her story is about, even in her pain, even in the trauma she was going through, she gave love, acceptance, and opened her heart to everyone else. And it's hard to do when you're in the moment of stress. A lot of stress was going on with this lady, and she still opened up. And so when this book was coming together, I said, Heather, she was actually the second person I asked in the book. I said, Heather, you have to be in this book. And she says, well, I'm going through a lot right now. And she was going through a lot right now. She says, but I will, for you, I will. And I said, thank you, because we have mountains to move, and I need your heart. I need the heart that this woman has in this world. I mean, all of us have huge hearts, but when you meet this lady, she is walking grace and love. She is the epitome, in my mind, of grace and love. So with all that, now I'm probably embarrassed her. Please welcome my friend, Heather Harris.
Wonderful to be here today. Wonderful. Part of what my experience was with Michelle that she rarely shares is that it was also an airport story that we were at the John Maxwell conference in Florida. And so I met her as we took a group picture of our Colorado group of people that were at the conference, and didn't even really talk to her beyond that until we were on the plane on the way home. And there was an empty seat next to her. So I came up and sat in it. I said, well, you know all about this process. So therefore, we're just going to have to begin to talk and, get some of my questions answered. And before you know it, it was pretty much the whole way home that we talked on the plane from Florida. So yeah, Michelle's the kind of person, she always is operating in this vision of connecting people, putting those connections together. And so I believe this book is going to do more of that. It's more of connecting to people, not just women, men as well. As we connect to one another in these stories, we have an opportunity to uplift, that little push uplift, as Erin mentioned. So it's wonderful. But the story I shared was of more, the infertility was part of the underlying issue with me as well. But my daughter had actually been born. And so it was one of those things like, what do you do when you get to that point? Because my daughter was born almost 4 months early. And so I shared the journey of that story to further show, what do you do when you're in that part of it? So it becomes an added extension of the various things that Sally and Erin also shared, those places of learning how to deal with that and be giving to others within that. Was something, but there's some little sweet things about what that giving looks like. But you have to read the book.
Yeah, it's beautiful,
to see
sweet.
It. I'm not going to tell you.
No. So what do you see in the future of the story you told in this book with us?
This book, I believe, is, as I say, it's going to begin to create these connections. It's the reach that we're able to have in expressing these stories and encouraging others. That reach goes beyond then just the person you have your conversation with one-on-one. It's going to reach the very borders of this earth so that people have an understanding of, yes, these difficult circumstances can come into our lives, but I like what Sally said also, and I echo that often when I'm saying we're not just surviving, we're thriving. There's a level of living that goes beyond what we will do to just get through something. There's a living that is extended beyond that. So yeah.
Thank you, Heather. Yay!
Yeah.
Now, the reason I brought this book together is one, I've been wanting to do it for a good 15 years. I just didn't know how to do it, and I didn't know if I was capable of doing it. Then between my car accident and my brain injury and and my breast cancer, I thought, if not now, when? If I keep putting it off for some special occasion or when the stars align, it will never happen. And last year during COVID, I wanted to publish the book. And then I stopped. And I said, maybe we can't do this now because the world is topsy-turvy. And I went to an event when things started opening up. And a friend of mine, David, you will all meet him at the book launch. He said, I thought you were writing a book. And I said, I was. And he said, you mean you were? I talked to you about this book like a year and a half ago. You already have it all planned out. You already know who you want. I said, I'm not ready yet. And he said, what are you waiting for? And I said, I don't know. And he said, then I want a cover by next week. I want a draft by the end of this date. And I want this. And I'm like, sir, yes, sir. I mean, so when you will meet him, if you're coming to the book launch on the 23rd, you will meet the catalyst that made me get off my butt. Yes, I'm enlightened. Yes, I'm a go-getter. I do a lot of things. But every once in a while, I need to push myself. David was my push. And he said, get your act in gear. You have 11 women waiting for you. And the world is waiting for all of you to change this world. Get off your butt and make it happen. And I said, but there's so many things against us right now. I mean, COVID and all this. And he said, stop. What do you tell me all the time? Walk towards what you fear. And he said, take your own advice, lady. And I'm like, oh, okay, we'll make it happen. And so I wrote all the ladies and said, okay, the book is coming. We're going to decide on a cover. And it happened really quickly, didn't it? I went from quiet crickets to, okay, it's all going to happen right now. Because that's how it had to move before those inner critics in my head started saying, you got to wait. Oh, the world's not ready for you. No, the world is ready for us now. And that's why the book had to come out. And then I was looking for a publisher. I was trying to publish it myself. And then all the hoops and all the things that started changing in the background wasn't as easy as it was originally when I was writing my books, my earlier books. And then I went to the Ultimate Speaker competition that I dragged Aaron to. And I met a man named Ken Rashawn. And as I'm talking to him, I said, you are just a powerhouse of marketing. And he said, oh, I'm a publisher. And I went, but you're a photographer. He says, yep. I said, we need to talk. And so I told him what we were doing with Hold My Crown. He said, oh, lady, you're right up my alley. Everything you're talking about, I want to be there. I want to be a part of this. This is a movement. This isn't a book. I said, no, this is not a book. This is a movement. I want this book to be like a gigantic snowball. And if you don't know what snowball is, think about sand, okay? It's going to roll and it's a little wet. And as it keeps rolling, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And soon it's going to consume everything. That's what this book is. It starts with the 12 of us. But as it grows momentum, there are going to be other people who are going to say, I need to share my story. The world needs to hear it too. And I'm going to say, come on in, baby. Let's make it make it right so that we can share different aspects from every kind of person we can possibly think of so that we can help impact the world. When I've been speaking around the world and training and all this stuff, the common thread I keep hearing is, well, I don't know what to do. Well, this happened to me and that's why I'm this way. I can't because, I won't because, I'm not worthy because. And in these stories you're reading in this book, we all found our way. So I figure the more we get these stories out and the more people come and join the movement of Hold My Crown. Yes, I have a man's crown. I should pull that out so you can see that too. But it's all about sharing our stories. So those of you out there who are thinking, I can't, I'm not, and I'm not willing, and I'm not able, I'm not capable, and I'm not worthy, will realize that we all thought the same thing at one point in time until we owned who we are, owned our situation, and said, enough is enough. I've got this. That's what these stories are about, how to get through by finding you. As I always say the best version of you every day. And if you don't think you're the best version, then work on it. If you want more, then work on it. And if you want to be unapologetically yourself, you need to love yourself completely, unabashedly, and just be. That is why when I wanted all these women together from different aspects of the world to share their stories in different parts of their lifetime, it's to show you that you could be in the most hellacious place in the world. You may think you are never going to make it out of this, but you will. And as I share a lot of times, the world is not easy. Life is not easy. Oftentimes, the most beautiful things happen through the worst of pains. You were brought into this world in one of the worst pains that any woman can ever experience. We came out of our mothers kicking and screaming, and our mothers were kicking and screaming, okay? So you are a beautiful entity that is supposed to be here. To get to the next beautiful spot in your life, sometimes you're going to go through some pain, and it's okay. I urge you to get the Kindle. Read through the stories that resonate with you. And if you feel connected and you want to reach out to any of these authors. This is what we all do. We are here called to help and guide other people through what we've gone through. We are not just authors that are going to sit up on a shelf and you're never going to hear from us again. We have a Facebook group and a Facebook fan page. We want to stay connected with you as this book grows, as we grow, as we have conferences, as we start teaching our training sessions around the world. We want you with us. Get the Kindle. Help us. And if you're in Colorado, come to our book launch party on Saturday, this coming Saturday, October 23rd, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at 3 E's Comedy Club. You've only seen a teeny tiny tip of what this book is about. You've only seen 5 of us total. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. No, Amy was on earlier. And thank you for those of you who are watching and you dropped off and come back on. And thank you, Brian, Shella, and Deanna, and Colette's on too.
Dina.
And she's going to come on. And Dina's here. And I can't see the ones that are on my phone, but I'm seeing the ones that are coming up on the StreamYard. So I apologize if I didn't call out your name. If you want to meet more of the authors, come back right where you are, invite your friends, and come back at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, because more of the authors will be on and you'll hear why they joined the book, why they shared the story they did, and the future they see of the impact of Hold My Crown. If you go to Amazon right now, buy the Kindle, go look at the reviews. We've sent out some, courtesy copies to friends and relatives and acquaintances, and they've given true reviews. They're stellar. This is bigger than I ever expected because we have started a movement. Come join our movement. Let us know that you want to connect. Connect with the authors that you connect with all of us if you want. And until 4 p.m. Mountain Time today, we're all going to say, sign off for now. And we didn't all wear our crowns. I have my crown because my desk is messy. And oh, you all have your crowns? Okay, sorry, Heather. We have our crowns. Remember, when you are feeling down, when you are feeling that no one else is experiencing what you're going through, know that there's a tribe of people. Right now, there's a tribe of women right here who are willing to hold your crown while you have to get some business done. Be the best version of you. Be unapologetic. And we'll see you at 4 p.m. Mountain Time right here at the same channel, same bad time. Until next time, say bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Maybe see you at 4 o'clock. Bye-bye.